Hey guys, it's Chance here.
And Jesse.
Bringing you guys another battle report. Now we have Trevor facing off against TJ here. Now, Trevor's running we've seen him run a few times around the shop, that sort of thing. He's playing pretty much a Screamer Star.
Yeah, he's playing actually verbatim Screamer Star. Big thing, tested with Nova and all that. The Nova FAQ came out. Kind of give a nice bump to Screamers to clear up some of the ambiguity that's around Psyker units and everything. They went ahead and went with their wording of Psykers can cast the same spell multiple times.
Yeah.
Or not multiple times, but the same spell regardless of multiples of them being in the unit.
Yeah.
So you can cast multiple Flicker Fires.
Which is a real big boon because, I mean, that Screamer unit, I mean, Flicker Fire is their main offensive output, as we really see, to be honest. So it's, without that, you're kind of looking at your Screamer Star and going, well, that's cool, I get, such reduced output.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's Screamer Star, 4 Heralds in there, and then the other big thing that he did was their wording or how they're doing Chaos Focus. So basically we're saying if you roll all your spells out of a primary lore, or out of a lore, you get the primaries for free. Like you would for normal focus. However, you also get chaos focus. So they're literally giving these guys one extra spell. So what he's able to do is he's able to roll all summoning, gets the summoning base power, plus he gets flicker fire base power. So he's able to get those cursed earths, the incursions, things like that. And I know he uses cursed earth and incursion a lot in this game. Summoning things like screamers and all that can actually be game breaking.
It's just a bit of extra viability, and as we always talk about, when you have more options, you have the ability to do different things. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah. So Trevor won the roll off to deploy first.
Yeah.
So he went ahead and did a very defensive in the back corner deployment against Vanguard. A big thing is TJ's running the Gazgul supplement, which Nova also said was going to be legal, and he's running the 5 battle wagon.
We could see
formation.
our Land Raider battle wagon as well there.
Yeah, one of our guys forgot to bring in a battle wagon for him.
Which happens. I mean, a lot of times you guys, I'm sure at home, you guys proxy stuff because you don't know whether or not it's going to be good, that sort of thing. We always talk about try before you buy, that sort of deal, especially at the beginning of a new edition like this. And we see TJ seemingly hesitant to group everything up.
Well, he groups everything up, and then he goes ahead and scouts to spread them out when he basically gets the feeling that he's not going to be going first. But this allows him to get that little bit extra. And so we see some of those battle wagons kind of get a little bit closer to some of those objectives and hopefully be able to turn the flag.
Hopefully. We got 5 objectives this game. We're playing a Nova mission. And we see
Trevor so Trevor moves his army up. His Screamer Star moves up Fate Weaver and Bellacore. And then he incursion spawns 3 more Screamers. You see them kind of under the building there. So he's just kind of making his presence known. Yeah. Those Screamers are really good counter to things like battle wagons. The Strength 5 AP or AP 2 or AP 1 Lamprey Bite with Armor Bane on an open top battle wagon that's rear armor 10. I mean, they do some work to battle wagons. Definitely. Not so much like a Land Raider, but definitely do work to like battle wagons. Right? They munch open, and they can still kill heavy armor, but they munch open light armor.
Yeah, what we're seeing here is TJ's kind of trying to play the game a little bit interesting, a little bit more finessey than we'd usually see from Orks. He's kind of trying to see if he can sort of kite him around the table. He's using a lot of these moves effectively, and if he can stay, if he can kind of keep the star sated and keep it chasing, keep it going, and sort of dictate where Trevor has to move, I mean, that's going to be a boon.
Yeah, big thing that's going to be going his favor is if he can force that star to commit and then get the charge off in his order.
Definitely.
Because if he can get the charge off where it's favorable for him, like 2 full units of Ork Boys, like 20-man Ork Boy units, something like that, those Screamers are not very effective in close combat. They're not terrible, but they're not very effective. Yeah. Against highly armored targets, you're looking at 1 attack piece, at strength 5. Against multiple targets, they're not the best. So if you can get like two full Ork Boy units in there, the problem is you have to survive long enough to get them in. And then if and the big thing is with the scout rule, especially it's especially cleared up in this particular formation, that if your truck or battle wagon scouts, the unit cannot charge on the first turn.
Yeah.
Getting out of it. So it basically makes this move up from Trevor real safe. TJ's basically going, well, I can't really do much.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of sort of playing this interesting game to where the Screamer Star wants to fight one-on-one, pretty much. It wants to, I mean, because it pretty much bests any of TJ's singular units one-on-one. The problem is TJ's playing Orks. He's gonna have a bunch of guys.
Yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, TJ here starts moving up to grab objectives. He's playing a secondary variant, so what that means is he's gaining objective points every turn by clocking them, whereas the Trevor is playing like a blitzkrieg, so he'll gain them at the end of the game. So that's why you kind of see, the problem is, I wonder if that's a bad choice in this particular idea, because it's forcing TJ to commit to places to gain points and kind of not allowing him to try to it's a game of back and forth here.
Yeah.
You know, as TJ, you really want to try to force Trevor into committing a mistake that you didn't capitalize on. And the problem is, by being dictated to, you have to claim your objectives the way that he is.
Yeah.
He's not really able to try to allow he's not able to bait Trevor into making a mistake that he can capitalize. You know, like I said, 2 units of Ork Boys, even with the 2+ rerollable, you just basically guarantee that Screamer Star doesn't go anywhere, and you can play the rest of the game. And now it's your army cleaning up pink horror, stuff like that.
Yeah, that sort of deal. I mean, we can see here Trevor's piling in for the assault, and it's really interesting. He's got the truck by itself. What are you thinking here, especially with the truck near the back left objective for TJ? Can TJ really afford to play a bend but not break sort of scenario, or?
I don't really think he can. Big thing is he can't afford to play this particular scenario because none of his battle wagons are objective secured or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that means it allows Trevor the ability to kind of pick a few things off.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, get to places he needs to be. Sure, he's clocking his points now, but all he has to do is focus on getting through these trucks early, which he's doing. You know, here's the incursion unit that got shut up a little bit, just getting in there. That's a free 3-man unit. Just kills a battle wagon.
Yeah.
The Screamer Star kills a battle wagon. TJ kills a couple Screamers in the process.
I mean, the game that Trevor wants to play is a snowball game. He wants to literally just wipe everything out and just make TJ play from behind, whereas he's already split up his manpower. So TJ has split up his manpower, and he's coming against a star that's really, for all intents and purposes, slow for power.
Yeah, I mean, the Screamer Star really only has a presence in the psychic phase, but it's a huge presence. Yeah. It's 4 flicker fire, stuff like that. And then it has the benefit of being a unit that just doesn't die.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about 2+ rerollables. You're having to net 36 wounds just to get 1 through.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's a lot. It's very big. I mean, we always talk about when you're trying to do math hammer or whatever you call it, theory crafting, that sort of deal. Until you really get the dice out and you roll it out and really see how bad your chances are, it's...
Well, and then you look at things like this. So TJ doesn't have a big psychic presence. But now he's being forced into, okay, battle wagon exploded, lost some boys. Now my boys are out.
Yeah.
I have another battle wagon here damaged. Now you're being put into this position of Trevor doesn't even have to assault to win. He can just flicker fire units off the table.
Yeah, I mean, which is definitely preferable.
So, I mean, some demonettes have come in from reserve. We have some Nurglings in the back. TJ's trying to pressure all of Trevor's backfield units. It feels to me, when I was watching this game, it felt to me a lot like it was like TJ was playing it like a 6th edition game.
Yeah.
Kill troops, win game. Which
is really, I mean, it would have been good, except for now everything scores.
Exactly.
That sort of deal.
So with everything scoring, it's now kill troops, win game. Oh, well, we have Screamers to deal with, stuff like that.
If you're TJ, do you really do you play mob rule mentality and try and just wipe something off the table, go for another thing, wipe something off the table, go for another thing, or how do you feel about this backside pressure sort of deal, especially when Trevor's gonna get a hell trick in?
I think it's you need to focus on that the downside to the Screamer Star is it's a lot of points in one unit.
Yeah.
And if you could tie it up and stop it from participating in the psychic phase, it's now not killing 2 or 3 units, it's only really murdering 1. TJ needed to kind of play the I'm all together game. Yeah. You need to commit because he
has a really good unit for that in Ork Boys. Ork Boys will sit in combat with it and they'll fight you pretty much till their death essentially. And he has the ability to pop guys out of the trucks and stuff, or the wagons, excuse me. But I mean, we're seeing here is Trevor kind of gets to play his game for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So a big thing that would have helped here is TJ was trying to clock objectives. He could have clocked his bottom left objective, the center objective, and waited for his buggies to come in to clock any of the top objectives.
Yeah.
And now start going, okay, well, I'm still scoring points. You still have to come and kill stuff.
Yeah.
Feed him a battle wagon. The Screamer Star's now committed. Assault.
Yeah.
Assault, not kill the unit, because you're just not going to do that most
Just
likely.
target them.
Exactly, but assault, and now your Screamer Star's not doing anything. But more importantly, I'm not losing 2 or 3 units to it in a psychic phase. It's not doing this. It's not, oh, here's a Herald, just flicker fire here. Here's a Herald, flicker fire here. Here's a Herald, flicker fire there. And then, oh, look, I'm just going to slash attack.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor wants to play the bubble game, right? He wants to keep a bubble around his star. He wants to keep a bubble around all the psychers, so that way he can just kind of manage the threat range from TJ and still get models effectively off the table. Whereas TJ needs to commit.
Yeah,
he needs to get in.
So it's the exact thing. He's now flicker fired 4 different targets from that unit.
Yeah.
Plus he's had
his maximum kill potential essentially.
He's had other units just shooting out psychic witch fires like Kairos and everything. And then you see, the Screamers slash attack, and then Demonettes charge.
This is perfect for Trevor. This is what Trevor wants to do. Trevor's getting his maximum value out of pretty much everything that he can right now. TJ kind of seems a little bit scatterbrained on the game plan.
But see, right here, this is actually a great combat for TJ as well, because, so that's a combat with Mega Knobs. And we were talking about how the Screamer Star is not that great in combat. Well, a unit like the Mega Knobs and all that, a unit like Mega Knobs is really, really brutal.
Yeah, they're hitty.
Yeah, for Screamers to deal with.
Yeah.
You have to drop all your attacks at 1 attack apiece. So now instead of 3 attacks apiece or whatnot, you're getting 9 attacks out of that unit.
Yeah,
and then you're wounding on 3, sure, but they have feel no pain, things like that. Yeah.
So a little bit of lucky dice rolling from TJ, and you mitigate almost the entire combat, which is big because I mean all TJ wants to do is pretty much buy turns because he has models, he has numbers, he'll get his objective points. He's already got some in the bank. It's kind of TJ needs to take advantage of the combats as they come. He needs to be able to recognize when, I mean, mathematically, he should be able to soak an entire turn of the combat, so that way, like we said, the less flicker fires they can get off on TJ's Orks, the better. So he's pretty much has to line it up to where, okay, well, my boys are gonna get killed. All right, fine, whatever. I'll suicide some more boys in. I'll disembark from the truck and charge, that sort of deal. He needs to just pretty much play the blocking game. We've talked about it before. He gets to play the offensive and defensive line, that sort of deal.
And the problem we run into is TJ. You can see he's kind of started to realize this. He got out his Mega Knob, stuff like that. He's like, okay, the Screamer Star's in the position I wanted to be in, but the Screamer Star's in the position he wanted to be in 2 or 3 turns ago.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, what's going on here? And you see Trevor basically going, oh, I'm firmly ahead.
Yeah.
He just charged a unit of horrors in because he's going, okay, I'm firmly ahead. And he's basically going, well, as long as my Screamer Star gets out of this combat, I'll basically just table him. And TJ's like, well, if I hold up his Screamer Star, I have a good shot at winning this game.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make those plays, but he's making those plays like 2 or 3 turns behind. So he's not being able to make the plays the way he really wanted to and put himself in the best position. But he's still taking his chances and putting himself in a position to win. And, I mean, right now, this Screamer Star combat has still been going on. Just by limiting the number of Screamers, by getting a good charge off, and it still being in combat with, like, a unit of Ork Boys, he's basically kept that Screamer Star spread. So all those Screamers aren't attacking their nose Mega Knobs.
Yeah.
And it's just locking it down. And locking that much of a unit down, the Screamer Star like that's been great for TJ, and it's putting himself in a position to win.
Especially considering the point disparity between the Screamer Star and anything in TJ's army. But like most of TJ's army, and I don't know if he's gonna hear this or not, is disposable. Like he can throw 20 Ork Boys in.
TJ's very disposable. I mean his army, that is.
It's a bit harsh, yeah. That's
no.
I don't know if he listens to these, but hopefully he does, along with the rest of you. But TJ can literally sit there and throw away units just due to the fact that 1 unit of combat with the Screamer Star is worth a couple hundred points
because,
to him.
Because you know what's happening with one unit of combat? He's not whittling down 3 units and killing a unit. So sure, he's still not losing a unit, but he's not losing a unit plus 5 guys from this unit, 4 guys from this unit, 3 guys from this unit, 3 guys from that unit.
We talked about it before, not falling in love with anything that you have on the table. If things are going to die, you're playing 40k and you're playing 2 decently killy armies, models are going to come off the table, but you have to make them come off the table in the situation that's best for you.
So now TJ's basically putting himself in a position, okay, what's Trevor's win con? Oh, his win con is grabbing the points. TJ's maxing out.
Yeah.
So you see TJ just now trying to stretch the field. He's still holding that Screamer Star up. Again, what we said he needed to do, but frankly what he needed to do from turns 2 to 3.
2-1.
You know, we're getting late in the game, but he's trying. The buggies move over to stop Kairos from being able to jump onto the ground and go, okay, this is my objective.
Yeah.
You have other buggies over here contested. So he's making the smart plays of putting his non-objective secured units where he needs to be and cleaning up the troops so that his objective secured units could just say, you can't have this objective.
Yeah.
And Trevor is doing the exact opposite, or well, the exact same thing, except he's coming out ahead here because, again, TJ fed 2 early units.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where if you have to take a look inside Trevor's head, Trevor really, I don't think planned for this to happen. But even if he plans, okay, my Screamer Star is going to be tar pitted for a couple of turns, with the amount of points you dedicate to a Screamer Star, there's not a whole lot of secondary kill pressure right now.
Well, I know watching this and even talking with Trevor and getting his opinions about the game, he said it was single-handedly the most tilting game of 40k he's ever played.
Yeah.
Because
we saw him, like, he had his hands on his head almost the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, and he loved the game. He was just so tilted from it because for so long the Screamer Star sat in combat with like 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
Because Mad Dog Grotsnick just wouldn't die, and they're fearless.
Yeah.
You know, Meganauts would just make feel no pains, and they're fearless. Lucky Stick Warboss just wouldn't die. Yeah. And it comes down to a nail biter. This game comes all the way down from tiebreakers into victory points.
Yeah, for sure.
So what ends up happening is TJ doesn't actually, like, he maxes, and Trevor's able to just get on his objectives as well.
Yeah.
And do the same thing because, you know, those Screamers are actually holding an objective. You know,
yeah.
that one thing TJ doesn't do is you see him, he's blocking the Demonettes from getting over.
Yeah.
And
it's a smart play.
But the thing is, those Screamers need to kill 1 Mega Knob in order to get that objective. 1 Mega Knob. And, you know, so it's really coming down to, okay, well, what happened? And the whole problem is Trevor let himself get locked up with a good shooting Death Star and not a good combat Death Star, and it has no way of getting out of the combat, and he just got poor luck. He's locked in combat. He wasn't able to, you know, we saw exactly what happened. As soon as he got locked in that combat, that Star stopped, and he was just getting cleaned up.
Yeah, it's one of the things where you look at the effectiveness of your army, you look what you can do well, and when things don't go your way, you can't let it get in the back of your mind. It feels like the entire game, you could look at Trevor's demeanor right here. It's just stuck in his craw the entire time. We see it happen. It's one thing to where if you see it here and you think about it in the back of your head, you can't let that happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, look at how depressed he is in a handshake.